The following feature contains previously unreleased information. MysteriousWV wishes to extend its deepest thanks to Sergeant Camden Sharp and the Charleston Police Department for allowing us the opportunity to present Robert Snow's case in its most complete incarnation to date. Wednesday, May 23, 2012. 55-year-old Robert Kenneth Snow, a district manager of several 7-Eleven convenience stores in and around Charleston, stops at one of his locations along Bigley Avenue. The time is approximately 5:30 p.m. Snow purchases some lottery tickets and then leaves. He is due at a meeting in Kanawha City about 3 miles away at 6 p.m. Snow never arrives. The following day, his vehicle is discovered about a quarter-mile north of its last reported location. 2 days later, Snow's lifeless body is found floating in the nearby Elk River. Cause of death? Homicide. Current status? Open and unsolved.
In popular culture, the phrase is, follow the money. But when it comes to criminal investigations, the tasks, although often quite similar, are not so straightforward. It is not uncommon for a homicide investigation to have any number of points A, B, C, and so forth. Once upon a time, these points were represented by tiny push pins on giant wall maps, often linked together with common sewing thread. Today, while the push pins may be computer icons and the thread a simple row of pixels, their importance to any investigation has not been diminished. When provided with a beginning, a middle, and an end, point A, B, and C, investigators are able to play a true-to-life version of Connect the Dots. In the case of the 2012 murder of Charleston businessman Robert Snow, points A, B, and C are firmly in place. Yet what remains in between is a mist-shrouded void. Once again, this feature was filmed with the complete cooperation of the West Virginia State Archives and the Charleston Police Department.
Robert Kenneth Snow was a veteran of 24 years of service in the United States Air Force. In 2012, at the age of 55, he was a district manager for Prima Marketing, in charge of operations at 12 7-Eleven convenience stores and gas stations around the Kanawha Valley. He was also in line for a promotion to a corporate position. Snow was divorced, and his ex-wife and grown children lived over 2,000 miles away in Arizona. Snow's sons later reported that although they lived in separate states, they were never out of touch. At the time of his death, Snow lived in Charleston with his girlfriend, Rebecca Castle, and her daughter, Wendy Reynolds. Snow also maintained a small private residence on Arlington Avenue in Charleston, which he used as a location to receive mail and as the occasional stopping-off point while making the rounds of his various stores. For Snow, life seemed good, perhaps too good. By all public accounts, Robert Snow was as amiable and affable as they come. A man about whom everyone seemed to say nothing but good things. A man who seemingly did not have an enemy in the world. And yet, also, a man whose life was to be cut tragically short following a bizarre and unexplained series of events. A series of events that began to unfold in the late afternoon of May 23, 2012. That day, Snow was due to meet with other Prima Marketing officials at this 7-Eleven store in Kanawha City at 6 p.m. to discuss his forthcoming promotion. Around 4 p.m., Snow stopped at the home of his girlfriend, Rebecca Castle, where he took a shower and changed clothes. Castle also worked for 7-Eleven as a manager of their store near Roxalana Road, just outside of Dunbar, West Virginia. After changing clothes, Snow drove to this 7-Eleven where video surveillance footage recorded him conversing with Castle for a short time. Snow, who was fond of playing the lottery, also purchased a number of scratch-off type tickets. Castle later reported that Snow then hugged her goodbye and promised to call later. Snow next drove to the Bigley Avenue Foodland, now a Piggly Wiggly grocery store, which is located here on Charleston's northwest side. Police believe that Snow had intentions of purchasing additional lottery tickets here, but found that the machine which dispensed the tickets was out of order. The time was just after 5 p.m. Snow next made his way to one of his 7-Eleven convenience stores, located at 1300 Bigley Avenue, just 2 blocks west of the Foodland. Such a stop was not out of the ordinary for Snow, as he often visited the various stores within his territory. At approximately 5:30 p.m., video surveillance footage captured Snow inside the Bigley Avenue 7-Eleven. Snow was observed again purchasing a number of lottery tickets, conversing with the cashier, and then exiting the store. Authorities believe that whatever transpired over the next few hours is the linchpin to Snow's fate, and while they cannot be certain, they also feel that whatever transpired likely originated in or near the 7-Eleven's parking lot. After leaving the Bigley Avenue 7-Eleven, Snow's vehicle was observed driving east on Spring Street towards the West Virginia Water Development Authority on Bullitt Street. Curiously, however, the cell phone data which was later obtained by the Charleston Police Department next indicated that Snow was driving northeast on Interstate 79 towards the Elkview Clay area. If Snow's ultimate destination was still Kanawha City, he was now traveling in precisely the wrong direction. Just why Snow was headed towards Clay and away from Charleston remains a mystery. The telephone records indicate that at 6:56 p.m., Snow's telephone was pinged again and was recorded as being in the vicinity of the Wallback Clay exit of I-79, some 34 miles north of its last recorded location. A little less than an hour later, at approximately 7:49 p.m., Snow's phone was pinged again, and it was now back in Charleston. As it was wholly out of character for Snow to miss a work-related meeting, his co-workers contacted Rebecca Castle and advised her that Robert had failed to show for his 6 p.m. meeting. Obviously concerned, Rebecca Castle and her daughter contacted the Charleston Police Department and filed a formal missing persons report. The following day, Snow's Mazda Tribute was located parked on the north side of a Pronto warehouse behind a Go-Mart convenience store. Oddly, the van was found less than a quarter mile from the 7-Eleven store where it had last been seen. Authorities searched the vehicle and found Snow's cell phone inside and in the passenger seat. A check of the phone revealed that its battery was very low. Aside from being abandoned in a highly unusual location, authorities stated that there was nothing else about the van that indicated it was a crime scene. As Snow's vehicle had been located very near the Elk River, authorities also made a search of the riverbank as well as the surrounding neighborhood. Summer had come early to West Virginia in 2012, and the verge along the Elk River's bank was already thick and full. During their initial perimeter search around Snow's vehicle, authorities found disquieting evidence which appeared to strongly indicate foul play. Publicly, authorities presented Snow's disappearance as a missing persons case and made appeals for help through local newspapers, radio, and television. Privately, however, officers with the Charleston Police Department had an unsettling feeling that they were looking at a homicide and that the Elk River likely held the key to the mystery. With the Memorial Day weekend approaching, authorities felt that the increased boat traffic on the Elk and Kanawha rivers would soon tell if their hypotheses were accurate. Sadly, they were. At around 11 a.m. on Saturday, May 26th, a small group of holiday boaters were gathered at a dock along Slack Street on the northern side of the Elk River when they spied an object floating in the water not far from the shoreline. A closer look revealed the horrendous truth. The object in the water turned out to be the lifeless body of Robert Snow, slowly drifting to the south. The boaters remembered having heard about Robert Snow on the local news and contacted the Charleston police and fire departments. In order to spare the holiday revelers from the gruesome sight, authorities allowed Snow's body to enter the Kanawha River and then directed it upstream to Daniel Boone Park. It was here, on May 26, 2012, that the body of Robert Snow was carefully removed from the Kanawha River. It was then slowly transported by gurney to a waiting ambulance and then taken to the state medical examiner's office for an autopsy. Strangely, when it was pulled from the river, Snow's body was found to be clad in a dark blue hooded sweatshirt, something he most certainly did not have on when he was last seen. A closer examination revealed a crude and perhaps hasty attempt to weigh Snow's body down. A thick, heavy substance was found stuffed into the pockets and hood of the shirt, a substance which was and is known to be present near the area where Snow's vehicle was located. Also, Snow's arms and legs had been bound with duct tape, clearly indicating that he had not entered the water of his own volition. The complete findings of the state medical examiner's office have never been made public. However, Detective Camden Sharp with the Charleston Police Department has advised MysteriousWV that although Snow's body was found in the Elk River, it seems most unlikely that death resulted from drowning. According to Sharp, the autopsy findings indicated that Snow was, in all likelihood, already dead when his body entered the river. Despite some initial disagreements with the state medical examiner, Sharp made it very clear in his statements to the public that as far as the Charleston Police Department was concerned, Snow was the victim of a homicide. The exact cause of Snow's death has never been made public. As is our policy, MysteriousWV will continue to honor this ongoing desire. While firm in his stance on the manner of Snow's death, Sergeant Sharp has, with equal candor, also made no efforts to hide the fact that authorities were and remain just plain stymied in other areas. An initial check of Snow's background at first gave no indication why anyone would want him dead or who may have been responsible. Sergeant Bobby Eggleton perhaps best summed up the early stages of the investigation when he said, quote, "When a guy dies that everybody loves, it's pretty hard to solve," end quote. Sergeant Bobby Eggleton, WSAZ, Television 3. Co-workers seemed to have nothing but good things to say about Snow, and his neighbors reported that he appeared to be living the quiet life. In fact, to those who knew him best, Robert Snow was affectionately referred to as Funny Bob. Hardly the type of individual to be trussed up and dumped into the river, or so it seemed. Snow's employer, Prima Marketing, posted a $10,000 reward for information leading to the apprehension of Snow's killers. Although it was soon to be bought out by 7-Eleven Incorporated, Prima Marketing was, at the time, a licensee of 7-Eleven and operated 87 stores in West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Kentucky. The investigation into Robert Snow's murder did not start off on sure footing. From the outset, authorities were perplexed by the confusing and seemingly inconsistent sequence of events. What follows is a detailed reconstruction of Robert Snow's last hours based upon physical evidence, electronic data, and eyewitness testimony. The last confirmed sighting of Robert Snow was here, Point A, at a 7-Eleven convenience store located at the corner of Bigley Avenue and Spring Street. Video surveillance footage taken at this location clearly shows Snow on site just before 5:30 p.m. As this store was one of the 12 Snow handled as district manager, his presence was not considered at all unusual. Not long after Snow drove away from the 7-Eleven, his cell phone was pinged and indicated that he was driving north on Interstate 79, which begins here. At 6 p.m., Snow's cell phone inexplicably went offline and remained so until nearly 1 hour later. At 6:56 p.m., Snow's cell phone was back online, and another ping placed it in this general area, Point B, near exit number 34 of I-79, 35 miles north of its last known location. Curiously, additional pings and unanswered calls to Snow's cell phone next indicated that it was headed south on I-79, back towards Charleston. Equally curious, Snow's phone, as well as video surveillance footage, place him back in Charleston at 7:49 p.m., 53 minutes after he started moving south. Assuming the times are correct, why had it taken Snow 53 minutes to traverse a distance which ordinarily could be covered in as little as 30 minutes? Less than 24 hours later, Snow's vehicle was found parked here, Point C, in a parking and loading area at the north end of a Pronto warehouse operated by Appalachian Tire. This site is barely 1/4 mile from the 7-Eleven where Snow was captured on camera at 5:30 the previous day. 2 days later, Snow's body was observed in the Elk River, approximately here, across from the Slack Street boat ramp and only 2 blocks south of the site where his vehicle was found. Perhaps the most confounding question of all is why. Why had Snow, over the course of 2 hours and 19 minutes, made the linear trek from Point A to Point B to Point C, almost back to Point A? Succinctly, just what happened between 5:30 p.m. and 7:49 p.m. on May 23, 2012, within this territory, which ultimately led to Snow being bound with duct tape and deposited in the Elk River. Whatever transpired during this period of time along this general route may well hold the key to Robert Snow's demise. In the course of his investigation, Sergeant Candon Sharp of the Charleston Police Department took a closer look at Robert Snow in an effort to root out any potential motive. As he dug deeper, some tarnish started to form on Snow's otherwise sterling character. In an exclusive interview with MysteriousWV, Sharp advised that Snow, at age 55, was still living a healthy and very active lifestyle. He also seemed to fancy himself as something of a ladies' man, a fact which was confirmed by several 7-Eleven employees. According to various interviews, Snow was always very flattering in his compliments to female employees. While generally accepted as good-natured, Snow's verbal charms were reported to have occasionally crossed the line of decency. A routine check of Snow's Arlington Avenue home led to the discovery of additional evidence, which seemed to confirm that Snow's amorous reputation was well earned. Also, in a conversation with Snow's ex-wife, Sharp learned that infidelity, either suspected or confirmed, had contributed to the eventual disintegration of his marriage. It seemed at least possible that Robert Snow's active lifestyle may have been his undoing. However, while the discovery of Snow's active lifestyle may have been surprising, perhaps even shocking to some, it did not seem to point to any firm reason why anyone would want to kill him. Also, if jealousy were the motive, the most likely suspect, Rebecca Castle, had a rock-solid physical alibi for the time period in question. On the first anniversary of Robert Snow's murder, Charleston Police Sergeant Camden Sharp took the unusual step of releasing his mailing address in an effort to encourage anyone with information, however vague or speculative, to write to him directly. 2 years later, in a televised interview on CBS affiliate WOWK, Sharp put his appeal and frustrations into words.
It's bothering to just have a story like this where something so tragic had happened, and there's been no answers. Even if you don't want to tell a story, just give me a direction. If you give me a direction, I'll do my job.
Since 2012, no suspects or persons of interest in Snow's murder have been named publicly. During his recent interview with MysteriousWV, Sergeant Sharp again lamented that Snow's case remains on ice, but is far from forgotten. Sharp again appealed to the public at large for help, and for anyone with information, however trivial they feel it may be, to come forward.
Authorities feel certain that whatever happened between 5:30 and 7:49 p.m. on May 23, 2012, is the key to unraveling this tightly knit thread. They feel certain that the answer lies somewhere between the previously identified points A, B, and C. The Charleston Police Department and Sergeant Camden Sharp would be interested in hearing from anyone who may have seen Snow or his tan Mazda Tribute at any time after 5:30 on the day he disappeared. Those with information can still reach Sergeant Sharp by the mailing address given in the following summation.
Robert Kenneth Snow was last confirmed to have been seen at the 7-Eleven convenience store at 300 Bigley Avenue at 5:30 p.m. on Wednesday, May 23, 2012. A short time later, Snow may have been driving north on Interstate 79 in his light tan Mazda Tribute. It is not known if Snow was the sole occupant of his vehicle at this time. When he was last seen, Snow was wearing long khaki pants and a plaid button-up dress shirt. Cell phone records place Robert Snow in the vicinity of the Wallback Clay exit of I-79 at 6:56 p.m. A short time later, pings to Snow's cell phone indicate that it was traveling south on I-79 towards Charleston. Surveillance footage, as well as one final cell phone ping, placed Snow back in Charleston, near the location where his vehicle would be found at 7:49 p.m. Snow's vehicle was found the following day on the north end of a Pronto Warehouse Incorporated building along Pennsylvania Avenue. This location is only 1/4 mile north of the 7-Eleven where Snow was last seen on video surveillance footage the day before. Snow's cell phone was found inside of the vehicle on the passenger seat, but no other signs of foul play were apparent. Evidence found during a perimeter search around his vehicle has led authorities to believe that Snow likely entered the Elk River a short ways downstream from this location. While the exact nature of this evidence must be withheld, MysteriousWV is able to report that it can safely be classified as conclusive. Snow's body was found floating near the southern end of the Elk River on Saturday, May 26th. Snow's hands, arms, and legs had been bound together with duct tape. For reasons that remain unclear, Snow was clad in a blue hooded sweatshirt when his body was pulled from the river. Evidence found on Snow's person indicated that someone had made a crude and perhaps hasty attempt at weighing his body down. Snow's wallet and identification were found in his pockets. However, some personal effects Snow was known to have had with him were not recovered. If you have any information concerning the murder of Robert Snow, please contact Sergeant Camden Sharp with the Charleston, West Virginia Police Department at 304-348-8111.
Bye.